Ready? Good morning, everybody. I just received the briefing from PEMA Director Rick Flynn and our state agencies on the winter storm that is moving its way through Pennsylvania. We know that the storm has shifted east, and that's a good thing for many people in Pennsylvania, but it's still going to have a significant impact on the eastern third of our state. This is a powerful storm, and conditions can change quickly. I think we need to understand that. You look out the window right now here in the Harrisburg area, and you could be forgiven for thinking that this isn't going to be a big deal. We're still thinking this is going to be a big deal. In certain parts of Pennsylvania, it's going to really hit very, very hard. So we're doing everything we can to prepare and to respond to that. We know this has already been a difficult week for many of our citizens in the areas that are going to be affected most heavily today. And this has been a really tough week for our first responders, our emergency managers, transportation, utility workers, and state and local officials. And I want to thank, and I think all of us in Pennsylvania owe a deep debt of gratitude to those people who have worked around the clock. Many of them hours and hours on end. They're really tired, and we're looking at another storm right now. So they've worked in difficult conditions of extreme cold and wind to help their neighbors keep safe and warm, and I think all of us owe them a great thanks. These storms are difficult for these workers, they're difficult for their families, and I think all of us, again, need to make sure that they understand that what they do is much appreciated. So, given last week's storm, we're focused on continuing to get power restored, get roads open, and get communities back to normal from last week's storm. And this storm simply complicates that effort that's underway. But we've made progress. Since last week's storm, we've reduced outages, power outages, from 600,000 to just under 40,000. We've lifted work restrictions to allow utility companies to work to restore power more quickly. But we still have we still have work ahead of us. So I ask residents to be patient, be safe, and be helpful to your neighbors. Please heed warnings from emergency officials and law enforcement. Third, please limit your travel and allow emergency responders to do their work. It's really helpful. If you don't have to travel, don't. Stay off the roads. That's going to help keep you safe, but it's also going to help keep others safe. It also allows crews to clear and treat roadways without disruption. This is all important. We're taking precautions to prepare for the worst that this storm can deliver. So here's what we've done. We've staged and moved equipment and personnel to respond in the areas we believe are going to be most heavily hit. PennDOT is lowering speeds on roadways and restricting commercial traffic. PennDOT has moved most equipment to areas expected to be impacted most significantly, so we're sharing resources whenever we can. We have 450 members of the National Guard mobilized and on standby throughout the eastern half of the state. And PEMA is doing work to make sure local communities have the resources they need to manage and respond to the storm. Counties in the direct path of the storm have PEMA and PA National Guard personnel on site ready to assist immediately as they're needed. We're doing everything we can to support communities, assist citizens and first responders, and most importantly, we want to keep people safe. I ask all Pennsylvanians to be safe. Help us in this endeavor. Limit your travel. Heed warnings from your local officials and check on your neighbors, especially the elderly. Now I want to turn this over to PEMA Director Rick Flynn for a further update on the state and local responses. Rick?
Thank you, Governor. Good morning. Again, Governor Wolf is heavily engaged in what we do and always is keeping in contact. And one of the things we did in preparation for the storm is start at 10 o'clock yesterday morning and activated the Commonwealth Response Coordination Center. That gave us time to do the planning efforts and coordination efforts with all of the counties affected. And as Governor pointed out, our significant concern has been those folks that are still in a disaster survivor mode, if you will, because they've had no power. And that is obviously up in the Northeast and specifically in Pike County. We've been working very closely with them. We said, as the Governor mentioned, plenty of resources. In fact, our state incident management teams up there functioning right now, working with the counties and working to help disaster survivors. But the Commonwealth Response Coordination Center activated yesterday. The PennDOT Area Command came in also at the same time. Then we activated the full Commonwealth Response Coordination Center today with the State Police, the Attorney General's Office, the Civil Air Patrol, the Public Utility Commission, the Department of Health, the American Red Cross, Department of Human Services, Department of Environmental Protection, the Department of Conservation and National Resources, Department of Military Veterans Affairs, the DDAP agency, as well as PennDOT and Turnpike. And again, you know, I think probably more than anything else at this point is one of the things that happens when a storm occurs is that obviously people do heed at times, stay off the roads and such. But then when they get out and then the storm slows down, they believe they can travel, and we don't want that to occur. You know, our concern is the storm's not, our role is not over until everything is back to normal. And so we're going to be engaged here for that event. I will say to you that we have resources available. You know, one of the most valuable resources if you're on a highway and you get stuck is the PA 511 Connect, because that wireless emergency alert will come to you and messages will be able to be sent to you. I encourage you, if that happens, not only be prepared, a go kit in your car, if you will, but be able to get that wireless emergency alert and connect. We were able to connect with over 200 vehicles in this past event and gave them valuable information. But in addition to that, we have the Ready PA. It's a great resource for preparedness information, and that's www.readypa.gov, and on our Facebook and Twitter. And I mentioned 511 PA Connect is a service that allows two-way communication. So we hope that no one gets in difficult times. As mentioned, our most vulnerable population in the Commonwealth is our elderly. Take care of your neighbors. That's what we ask.